Okay, so to start with, since this is our very subject, which is our auditing and assurances for our 6489, so just to give a simple view of your auditing, precisely everyone knows the very subject auditing. Okay, this is the key part of good corporate governance of every business establishment, but the directors are responsible for management and maintaining a system of control that will safeguard the companies, that will safeguard and control the company's assert. Thus, it gives guidelines of the facts that the auditors must be aware of as part of them, planning for carrying out a true and fair reports. Okay? See, the very essence of our subject is again focused on auditing, which is, say, very vital. And we are always having hands-on focus on financial reports. So since your basic subjects in accounting, you are already been given and equipped with the knowledge of accounting, as well as this time auditing. So having your auditing, you have to consider also important terms to remember, say for example, independent examination of the expression and opinion given by an auditor. The financial statement of an enterprise by an appointed auditor in pursuance of that appointment and in compliance with any relevant statutory obligation. So there is such thing also as, meaning to say that in every company, in any business entity, or whatever business establishments we are having in the near future, if you'll be connected with any company, then there is such thing as auditing. Okay, and the required, of course, there are requirements for you to be an auditor, and an auditor has a very important role in the process of our accounting tasks. Okay, there is such thing also as the so-called an elegant, rather, we have the so-called engagement letter, which defines clearly the extent of the auditor's responsive uh, queries, responsibilities, and to minimize the possibility of any misunderstanding between the client and the auditor himself. He can be an independent auditor, regardless of what he must attain that sense of responsibility that all the given tasks in terms of examinations, comprehensive studies of the financial reports must be taken into account with careful and reliability, truthfulness. So, as an auditor, di ba, kailangan lagi meron sense of credibility as a person. So, you young guys can be future auditors also in the near future. Okay? And with that, ayan, may mga examination context tayo. We have the industrial concepts, assurances, engagement, and so on and so forth that I will give as additional insights coming from our lessons. Okay, so to start with, we have the company audit here, which you have read, and of course, we have the objectives. Why do we need to focus on this chapter 8? Okay, so it goes with what are the objectives now of audit, the various provisions in the Company Act. So every business establishment has to uh, obliged to and has to follow the Company Act 1956, especially those concerning accounts and audit. Okay? And the scope of the report that the auditor of a company is required to make in pursuance of the contained in Section 227 of the Act. This is all about how an auditing process will be done with an independent opinion, not to be affected by the management or whatever, but it should be a clean report coming from an independent auditor, whether he is an internal auditor or an external auditor. Because under the Philippine Company Act, yung tinatawag nating Company Act number, that one, nakapaloob doon na there must be a reliable report for you to be given an audited report. All the figures need to be with accuracy, with truthfulness. It's like that, okay? So, the objectives of an audit are, ayan, number one, verification of statements of accounts so as to express an opinion. Okay? When you say verification of statements of accounts, what does it mean, my dear students? O, di ba? You need to have a hands-on, careful investigations of all these data, financial data that we are being given as an auditor. For example, verification of statements of accounts of assets, liabilities, capital, revenues, and expenses. Those accounting elements need to be included in the verification of whatever FS you are handling. What are those FS? Precisely, everyone can relate that we have your balance sheet, you have your income statement or statement of comprehensive income, you have your statement of cash flow, you have also your statement of retained earnings, statement of owner's equity, isn't it? So when it is an owner's equity, that can be possible statement with this as all proprietorship, owner's equity, and if it is a corporation, it is a stockholder's equity. If it is a partnership, it is a partner's equity, isn't it? So these are ought to be checked very well with the, I said, rigid study of an auditor for him or her to present an audited report. Okay, so we need to have also detection of errors and frauds. Okay, that's why from the very start of our lessons, even in some other accounting subjects, it's always being emphasized that we need carefulness, be very careful in even on the very start of your, say, the first step, your accounting yourself of the reports that are subjected to the verifications, uh, investigations, assessments of an auditor. Isn't it? Kaya dun pa lang sa start ng ating steps of the accounting cycle, kailangan nandun na yung how you take good care of all the data contained therein. Why? Because there is such thing as auditing. An auditor who will be having a very hands-on analysis of the figures contained as presented in our financial reports or FS. Okay? So detection, because an auditor can simply take note of whatever committed errors are indicated or had been observed, been examined on the financial reports, statements that you have to present to an auditor. So normally, in the, say for example, in the actual practice, if you will be there in the near future, you need to be very, very attentive to, especially when they are external auditors, to give whatever they wish or they required to be presented as underlying documents to support the given data on your financial reports. Okay? The frauds. If ever there is something which is to be considered as a misconception or misappropriation of funds, of cash collections, everything will be detected by an auditor. Okay? That's why that is given as one of the objectives of our company audit lessons. Okay? Prevention of occurrence of errors and frauds. Siyempre, as accounting students, di ba, you'll be trained na how to, uh, if possible, avoid errors because most specifically frauds. And this frauds is basically to be related to, especially when you are handling cash. So in our lessons, there is also a reminder that in handling cash, everybody must have that value to be inculcated not only into your mind but within your hearts. Kasi nag-accounting tayo, di ba? There must be such thing as honesty in terms of handling money matters because it is sometimes, not only sometimes, most of the times, nag-handle ng cash. So handling cash, susceptible to fraud. And one thing is to be remembered as what I am giving plenty of times, bombarded with. Money can be earned, money can be lost, money can be stolen, but not your reputations. One's journeys cannot be compensated again. So, di ba? So, do not be tempted to be dishonest. O, doon nagsisimula na yung fraud. So, if ever nagkaroon nun, again, the auditor can easily detect it. So, at this point in time, it is a matter of building up or establishing, developing those values. So if you will be out of the school premises of AMA, yes, you will be practicing it with all honesty because as I did said, yan, mas mahalaga yon. Pera kinikita yan eh. Di ba? Kahit anong dami. But the thing is, once you will be tempted to do it, I said to my students before, no, because we are Consolinians and we are trained that way. Pero lang yan eh. Pwedeng kitain, pwede kayong magpayaman agad-agad. O, di ba? Especially at this point in time na modern technologies are there. But once your integrity, reputations, fairness, parang mahirap ibalik yung tiwala, the trust, okay? So that is much connected with our lesson for today because the auditor can pinpoint some fraud. Say, appropriation of cash, yan yung normally nagaganap. Kaya, natitrace yun. So again, we need to be honest up to the last centavo. Kaya tuloy pag nag-double rule or pag naghahanap na tayo ng mga totals, I said, do not force balance because that is a practice of what? Already dishonesty. So when it is already been developed, no one can be tempted because you are trained to be that honest even up to this point of financial figures. Honest ka pa rin kasi hanggat hindi siya bumabalanse up to the last centavo, you're still having or exerting any effort there para makita mo yung totoong amount. Okay? So those are all to be related to our prevention and occurrences of this fraud and errors. Errors naman, sometimes unintentional and we call it honest error, mistakes that are to be corrected. Pero iba naman yung mga ganung bagay. Diba? So lahat tayo always aiming for yan. Good presentations of financial reports, financial statements so that we can minimize these occurrences of errors and at the same time frauds. Okay? So wala sa atin yun. Sa iba lang yun. Okay? Detection and prevention of frauds and errors were originally regarded as the main objective of an audit. It was because the auditor at that time was looked upon as the watchdog over the assets that, Sir Marlon, over the assets that are being used in a company, for example, not only the assets, but all the accounting elements as well as the liabilities. Are these liabilities really existing? Or is it with this manifestation of this, there's such thing as reliability on the terms or rather on the figures been indicated as liabilities. Same is true with the capital. For example, tinitingnan nilang mabuti. Ano ba talaga yung figures? Is this with validity, with authenticity, correctness and accuracy, right? So yun, kailangan nagiging maingat tayo sa paglalagay ng figures. Assuming, for instance, unintentional error, so that can be, of course, taken into account, but there are things which are to be considered, ayan, na-detect ng isang auditor. Okay? So that's the very reason kaya tayo ay nagkakaroon ng ODP. Yan. Detection and prevention of frauds and errors were originally regarded as main objectives of an audit. It was because the auditor at that time was looked upon as the watchdog over the assets the business possessed as well as over its functioning in general. Take note, an auditor as watchdog, meaning to say they really have the responsibility to check on this accuracy of the figures. Okay? Such a concept of duties of auditor has its origin in the natural distrust that exists among human beings, especially where the course of business dealings involves several persons entrusting their monies or properties to others. O, diba? Angkop na angkop pala yung binigay ko kaninang mga sidelight. Ano? So, yes. Again, parang pinipredict na as an accounting personnel, an accounting staff, nandyan talaga yung, wow, kasi accounting, ano mga yan, may honesty yan, because they need to be. Why? Because the auditor can easily check on this, whatever malpractice has been made in terms of the funds or the cash of the company. Okay? And also with the recordings and all these accounting steps been made. Yan. Lagi kailangan sumusunod tayo dun sa mga accounting principles and of course with the special care for the figures. Okay? So it goes with ano sabi? Such a concept of duties of auditors has its origin in the natural distrust that exists among human beings. Parang binibigyan ng excuse as a human being. There are some other factors to consider pagka nagkakaroon ng pagkakamali, di ba? Especially where the course of business dealings involves several persons entrusting their monies. Siyempre, yung nagkakaroon ng from one person to another. So, that is where some malpractice has been made or some errors, not all. So it goes with the explanation of our author saying, so deep-rooted is the belief that whenever on a company being wound up, a fraud or error is discovered, even today, there is a public outcry that the auditor should be held responsible for it. Yes, pananagutan niya ng isang auditor. If ever nakalusot yung ganong financial reports na hindi niya nabigyan ng sapat na action. Ibig sabihin, before releasing or before having an audited report, again, it is the auditor's responsibility to check on all this accuracy or else he will be the one liable for whatever leak that is considered as error in the audited report. Gets the point, dear students? Okay, kaya ganun katindian or kabigat ang ating mga responsibilidad as an auditor. Though the broad objective of an audit to this day continue to be the same as aforementioned, the emphasis has shifted from the detection of frauds and prevention of occurrences of errors to the verification of the statements, the management of an account. It is because in the context of present system of management of companies, it is of greater importance that the annual statement of account should exhibit a true and, what is the next one, sir? No? A true and correct financial reports. Again, ayan. It was specified well. Yung kahalagahan ng ating ginagawang annual statement of account. When you are talking of annual statement of accounts, siyempre hindi naman yan lalayo, dear students, di ba? Dear accountancy students, that will be focused on your FS that we normally mention from time to time as the very focus of everything for auditing purposes, di ba? Special provisions as regards accounts in the Companies Act 1956. Okay, ito yung sinasabi natin Company Act which must be followed. It is mandated under the Philippine law that every company should abide by those contents of our Companies Act. Companies Act 1956, promulgated year 1956. Okay, and these are the contents. The provisions in the matter of books of accounts which a company is required to maintain are contained in this section and they are briefly summarized below. Okay, ito yung kinakapalooban ating tinatawag, minimension ni Doc from the start of our meeting, Companies Act 1956. Okay, number 1, every company must maintain at each registered office proper books of accounts with regards to letter A, all sums of money received and expended by the company and the matters in respect of which the receipts and expenditure take place. So it is well specified, no? Lahat ng cash or cash equivalent of a certain company when you receive should be supported with your documents because the auditor will be looking at where are the proof of the evidence that you received this much amount of money. Okay? So saan ba natin nakikita yung mga receive of money and then expenses? Of course, sa cash flow, meron tayo yan. When you have your cash flow statements, di ba? Under financing, under your investing, and operating activities, kitang-kita natin doon yung cash flow, yung pag-receive ng cash, saan-saan nanggaling yun, why do you have to receive this cash, is it coming from the sales or whatever source of cash coming from that transactions. Okay, so yun yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. Expended by the company, lahat ng expenditures also be taken into account with specific required supplementary papers to prove, again, the authenticity of the figures contained therein. Okay? Yan. So, matters in respect of, yes, the receipts. So, you are exposed to the different accounting papers, isn't it? To support transactions. So, if you are paying some, for example, tuition fee from our school, may nare-receive kayong OR, isn't it? Whenever you give out your cash, mayroong corresponding receipt. When you are buying something, ordinary transactions been transacted or been done, meron tayong supporting papers. If you sold out something, meron kang sales invoice. If you purchase something, you have the so-called purchase invoice. Okay? If there are some returns in terms of coming from the, say, nagkaroon ng misconception again in terms of the quality, or say, wrong specification of the products being delivered, meron tayong mga returns dyan. We took it with our account name. Anong kayo account name na ginagamit natin? PRA, Purchase Returns and Allowances, and SRA, or Sales Returns and Allowances, as well as PD, Purchase Discounts, and CSD, Sales Discounts. O yan, mga ano yan. Then, pag merong mga ganong transaksyon, ano yung supporting papers? Of course, our credit memo and debit memo to be accounted for yan. See? So, lahat na yan. And then, when you have some expenses, it must always be what kind of expenses? Napakarami, di ba? We have administrative expenses, selling expenses, operating expenses. So if ever been incurred in whatever business entities, kailangan meron tayong, again, the paper to support as proof of evidence that you really incurred this amount stated on the documents to prove the expenditures, all expenses incurred by a certain company. Okay, so yun yung nilalaman ng letter A. All sales and purchases of goods by the company. Definitely. Say for example, nag-sales ka ng 2 million, 2.5 million. Again, the auditor will be looking at where are your sales invoices? Is it really existing with this corresponding amount given in the receipts? So from time to time, they will be checking it. Okay? Because they are responsible for whatever audited report that they will be presenting, which are very, very much indeed needed. Kung napakaraming nangangailangan ng audited report, isn't it? Pwedeng ang management, they will look on these audited reports. Say for example, mga financial institutions, mga bangko, kailangan yan. You cannot even be given additional, say you'd like to have additional investment, then you need to have a loan coming from the bank. So the bank officers will not just give you loans, not unless you have presented the papers being required for you to be given a loan. Kasama dyan yung audited financial reports, di ba? Plenty of our direct and indirect users. Kailangan din yan ng mga journalists. Why? They are focused on having a transparency, especially pag government-owned corporation, owned and controlled by the government, pinapublish yan. So again, yun yung tinatawag na audited financial reports. See, even the employees themselves would like to have a knowledge of our audited financial reports. Why? Siyempre, para alam nila yung kalalagayan ng kanilang, say, company na kinabibilangan where they belong. Isn't it? Big multinational companies. Naku, yung mga labor unions, gusto nila yung tingnan. Because of what? The so-called CBA, Collective Bargaining Agreement, between the management and the employees themselves for profit sharing. Para sa school, bawal yun. Wala tayong umun sa school. Because it will be at the detriment of the ating mga students, so it's not allowed. It's only some other private firms. Okay? So what I am emphasizing is the very essence, yung kahalagahan talaga ng ating Ayan, nakapaloob din sa ating Company Act 1956. Okay? Not only the sales, but also the purchases. Assuming, for example, nag-record ka ng purchases, amount purchases. Say, for example, with a total amount of, say, 3.5 million. Okay? So, the auditor has to scan everything, all the papers, just to have or arrive at this total amount of 3.5 million as reported purchases for the whole year, for example, whatever is the counting period being used by the company. Okay, so those are A and B. Sir Marlon, some more from your Company Act 1956. Go ahead with the other slides. Since we are discussing all about these auditing assurances, so we have the so-called independent examination, being given ko na ba? And then we have also an engagement letter wherein kailangan magkaroon ng understanding, ayan, related to what I am giving, understanding between the management and the external auditor, for example, para maiwasan yung samaan ng loob. Kaya huwag sasamay loob nyo, lalayo ang grasya. Dapat tayo lahat positive, na nauunawaan, huwag agad-agad magagalit. Naku, bakit kaya ginagawa? Intention, maganda yung questions. Biglang na interrupt doon sa technical problem. So again, that will be part but need to understand, and bottom line, ops, lahat tayo with honest, good intention to help one another. Okay? So we have the engagement letter, I said, na-discuss na natin yon para maiwasan yon. Again, but I will give it. Defines clearly the extent of the auditor's responsibility to minimize possibility of any misunderstanding between the client and the auditor herself or himself. O di ba? Dito rin, inya-emphasize yung misunderstanding need to be avoided. Kasi, I said, actually, sa bawat pangyayari sa buhay natin, need to have it. Kasi if you have humility, humble heart, all graces, or rather, anong blessing sa atin ni Lord. Okay? So you need to have it. Non-statutory audit. We have the so-called non-statutory and the statutory audit. Okay? Meron na ba si Mr. ano? Okay, so meron na pala si Sir Marlon. We'll proceed muna dito. Pa-prioritize natin ang ating slides. Okay? Companies to which it belongs. And it is permissible, however, for all or any of the books of account to be kept at such place in India. This is coming from other countries' book. As the board of directors may decide that when a decision in this regard is taken, the company must file with the Register of Companies a notice giving full address of other places. So, ang inya emphasize, what is being emphasized on this given paragraph is again, dapat nakadeklara lahat ng mga necessary data, yan, full address of other places na concerned doon sa ating auditing work. When a company has a branch office, whether in or outside the Philippines, for example, to comply with the aforementioned provisions, the company must maintain proper books of accounts relating to transactions effected at the branch office. Also arrange to obtain from the branch proper summarized returns at intervals of not more than 3 months for being kept at the registered office or other places. So this is quite applicable also here in our country. O, di ba? There are companies, kahit sa school natin, ang dami nating branches or subsidiaries. Say, for example, ang tawag natin doon subsidiary companies, that means also branches. No? So, the same, just the same. Even if you are only handling or operating a branch of AMA-ES, for example, or PAMA, we need also to comply with all the necessary documents. All the papers must be intact for proper auditing in case the time for examination of an auditor has to take place, because it is a requirement. It is part of our Company Act 1956, which is also applicable to us. Okay? The purpose of subsections. Proper books of accounts shall not be deemed to be kept with respect to the matters specified therein. Parang kaagad yung dating sa atin dito, yung transparency of your books of accounts. Okay? There are not kept such books as are necessary to give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the company or branch office as the case may be, and to explain its transaction. So it must be well kept. All the books of accounts, talagang with natin yan, with proper care, because these are the very proof of all the transactions to come up with your presented financial reports after the end or at the end of the accounting period, which is normally been given. Meron tayong tinatawag na interim period, but that is beyond or below 1 year period. Normally, 12 months period, isn't it? Whether it is fiscal period or calendar period, that is inclusive of 12 months period. Okay? If such books are not kept on accrual basis and according to the double entry system of accounting. So again, it must be having, say for example, accrual basis yung ginagamit. So everything must be recorded using your methods of accrual basis. Double entry system of accounting. From the start, you have it. When you have the debit and credit, this is part of the double entry bookkeeping system. Double entry system of accounting. So yun yun. The books of account and the other books and papers shall be kept, shall be open to inspection by any director during business hours. Meaning to say, is it after 5 hours? You are not allowed to check. Siyempre naman, it is to be understood na 5 o'clock, in excess of 5 o'clock, hindi na po yun working hours, things like that. So it must be within the business hours. No? So to simplify it, that is within our 8 to 5. Okay? Shall be open to inspection. Again, transparency here. You need not, you cannot say no. It cannot be shown to anybody or to any, say, authorized officer asking or requiring you to present the FS. Yan. Talagang ipinakikita yan. Okay? The books of accounts together with vouchers relevant to any entry made therein for a period of not less than 8 years immediately preceding the current year must be preserved by the company in good condition. O take note. So, nanonotice nyo sa mga big companies, especially during the time na wala pa tayong, that we are focusing on the compilation, even if it is with our modern technology, the compilation must be there as soft copies. And the period covered must be at least 10 years. O, diba? Sa mga law office naman, 10 years nga yan. Hindi sila pwedeng basta magtapo ng mga dokumento. Ask after years in a certain company. Okay? Yun ay according to the Company Act 1956. The books of accounts together with vouchers relevant to any entry made therein for a period of not less than 8 years immediately preceding the current year. Ito na pala. Yun yun. Explain na natin yun. Next slide, Sir Marlon. Yes. Okay. If any of the persons, kasi natatabingan ako ng ano, if any of the persons referred to in subsection 6, which is as follows, fails, if any of the persons referred to subsection 6, ito yung susunod natin, fails to take reasonable steps to secure compliance with the requirements of law aforementioned, or by a willful act causes any default by the company, he shall be punishable for its offense, which imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or a fine, which may extend to, that is the amount given, but this is pertaining to the, of course, the laws and regulation in that country. So to our country, we have also the corresponding punishment if ever it is to be proven that something is with intentionally drawn figures, diba? Kaya be very careful with it so that we won't suffer or we won't experience such offenses. We will avoid as much as possible because from the very start, we are honest to make it with transparency that anyone can look at our books of accounts because wala tayong tinatago. We're not hiding anything about the accuracy, the authenticity of the figures therein. Okay? So, yun yung nilalaman doon. Then, it goes with where the company has a managing director or manager, such managing director or manager and where the company has neither a managing director or manager, every director of the company. So this is pertaining to the management of a certain company, which have all the rights to get a hands-on on these audited reports. Okay? If a person, not being a person referred to in the foregoing paragraph, has been charged with the duty of seeing that requirements of law in regard to the books of account is complied with, makes default in doing so, he shall, in respect of each offense, be punishable with a fine which may extend to how many is the amount given if it is a practice in India. So here in our country, it's also applicable, but we have our own law to say to have the specified amount. It will be stipulated if ever we have some irregularities or some other offenses proven to be with the say not unintentionally been made, but there are something which is to be considered as punishable, and proven that there is a violation or offense made, meron din yung corresponding punishment in terms of the fine, and because that will be violations of our rules. So number 8, do we have our number 8? Sir Marlon, go ahead. So ito yung mga nakapalob sa tinatawag na Companies Act of 1956. Continued with forms and contents of balance sheet, profit and loss statement. So you are much aware anong mga nilalaman ng balance sheet as well as our income statement, isn't it? Parang without blinking of an eye, all my BAs, all my what? Bachelor of Science in Accountancy are quite well aware of what are the very contents of our balance sheet and of our comprehensive statement of income. That is your IS income statements, wherein your revenues and expenses are being presented. Coming from the author, every balance sheet of a company shall give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the company as at the end of the financial year, and shall, subject to the provisions of this section, be in the form set out in the part of Schedule 6, or as near thereto as circumstances admit, or in such other form as may be approved by the central government, either generally or in any particular case, and in preparing the balance sheet, due regard shall be had, as far as may be, to the general instructions for preparation of balance sheet under the heading notes at the end of the card. Okay? So again, this number 1 is all about how you need to prepare your FS, and pinpointing the very basic one, which is our balance sheet, wherein the fair, or rather fair and accurate presentation, fair and accurate presentations of the figures of the financial data. As to your elements, lahat ng klase ng assets will be there with the corresponding amounts which are expected to be with accuracy. Again, and reliability. Okay? Goes with not only assets, with your liabilities, capital, and then all your revenues. When you are talking of BS, precisely, those are only referring to our 3 accounting elements. Those are your assets, liabilities, and capital, slash for your owner's equity. Okay, stockholders' equity. Okay, again, with should be taken care with utmost diligence in terms of how to present it with true and correct data. Provided that nothing contained in this subsection apply to any insurance or banking company or any company engaged in the generation of or supply of electricity or any other class of company for which a form of balance sheet has been specified in or under the act governing such class of company. Okay? So, this is pertaining to different kinds of companies. Whether it is, again, diba, there are a lot of activities being done in a certain company. Can it be considered under the manufacturing activity, under the merchandising, or service activities? All of these things must be complied. Okay? Kumbaga, implemented. Must be implemented in all activities of different companies. Key number 2, every profit and loss account of a company shall give a true and fair view of the profit or loss of the company for the financial year and shall subject as the profit or loss of a company, subject as aforesaid, comply with the requirements of Part 2 of Schedule 6 so far as they are applicable thereto. Again, when you say P&L, baka nami-miss ano nyo ha, this is a view of an auditor, ang ginagamit niya, that's why I'm saying plenty of times, yung income statement can be slashed, some other authors call it P&L, profit and loss statement. At dito, ang ginagamit ng auditor is P&L. Dr. Yang is always saying IS, income statement. And we have also synonymously being used for what? Comprehensive statement of income. Isa lang ibig sabihin nun. Connotes one and the same thing. So lahat ng nakapaloob doon is under our number 2. Ang tawag nila, profit and loss. Diba? Statement P&L. So pag nagko-closing entries tayo, diba? Saan ba'y kino-close? Ang pang-close lagi is income summary, revenue and expense summary, or P&L summary, profit and loss summary. Whichever is your choice, pareho lang ang ibig sabihin. Okay? Provided that nothing contained in the subsection shall apply to any insurance or banking company or any company engaged in the generation or supply of electricity or to any other class of company for which a form of profit and loss account has been specified in or under the act governing the such class of company. Okay, so just the same, kung ano yung provisions given on our number 11 regarding the BS, balance sheet, the ALC report, yan. Ganun din ang kinakapalooban ng ating income statement here. Okay? Yun din yung requirement in terms of the contents and subsections of these given reports. Okay? Reports, we're talking of BS, and the other one is IS, or profit and loss statement. Okay? So for your number 3, we have, okay, for your number 3, the central bank may, by notification in the official gazette, exempt any class of companies from compliance with any of the requirements in Section 6 if in its opinion it is necessary to grant the exemption in the public interest. So this is an exceptional case. Kung hindi naman daw karapat-dapat, there are instances again wherein yan, may mga exemption to the rule, isn't it? So pag inaakala nilang hindi they need to be granted an exemption. Right? Any such exemption again may be granted either unconditionally or subject to such condition as may be specified in the notification. Depending upon the notification, this is case to case basis. Case to case basis yan. Merong cases na kailangan talagang hindi ipakita or something to that effect. So the exemption may be granted. Pwede naman, basta ba merong reasonable valid reasons, for example, reasonable things to be accounted for as considerate ba sila with those things? Yan. Nagkakaroon ng exemption doon. Under 3A, every profit and loss account, nakakatuwa yung ating author, P&L talaga ginagamit. That's why I said, every profit and loss account and balance sheet of the company shall comply with the accounting standards. Yes, sa atin din. Inaano natin ang mga accounting standards natin. Okay? Where the profit and loss account and the balance sheet of the company do not comply with the accounting standards, such companies shall disclose in its P&L, in its profit and loss account, NBS, the following namely. So it must be disclosed, meaning to say it must be properly noted. Okay? With notification as number letter A, deviation from the accounting standards. Why do you have to deviate? Is there such thing as the justifiable reason? Okay, so an auditor has to work on it or has to study if there is really an existing justifiable reason to do it. Okay, pero deviation from the accounting standards, which is also acceptable kung meron talagang reason, justifiable reason to it. Reasons for such deviations. So, whatever the reasons given by the company to the auditor, it must be with, again, noted yan. Meron yang written document to support it. Then letter C, the financial effect, if any, arising to such deviation. And they will also be disclosing. Ipapaalam din nila ano yung naging effect nito sa inyong assets, sa inyong liabilities, or the flavors. Sabi ng ating ibang foreign authors, tawag nila, instead of accounting elements, they call it not accounting values, but accounting flavors. And they're referring to ALC, i.e. assets, liabilities, yan, revenue and income, o lahat daw ng kung ano naging effect, it must be disclosed properly according to this 3B. Okay? For the purposes of this section, the expression accounting standards means the standards of accounting recommended by the Institute of Chartered Accountants. Meron tayo ito. Constituted under the, okay, so meron tayong sinusunod according to these standards, accounting standards, the international standards, accounting standards has to be followed. So for all of them, just keep on reading any reading material related to your subject will be very useful. So you are free to do it